Hey, what's up everybody? It's Guy and Kicks here, back at it again with another review. And in today's video, it is going to be a versus video. I like making these reviews because you guys get to see different looks of the different sneakers. You know, when I throw on different looks and things like that, you guys can compare and get to decide which one you like the most in terms of materials or looks and things like that. Or maybe you like all of them and you want to go for them, and it's just a little bit easier to see them side by side and make that decision. You know, the point of this review is not necessarily just to pick one, because each one of these shoes and these brands, you know, are targeting, you know, their different customers in a different way. So it's really hard to pick one in terms of which is better or not, because a lot of times hype has a lot to do with it. You know, a shoe can, you know, really not look good or not have great materials, but if there's a lot of hype, you know, people tend to go down that road anyway. So this is more just for you guys to see them and then decide on your own. So without further ado, let's jump into and let's talk sneakers. Today's review is going to be on the New Balance 550 in the black and white color, the Nike Dunk Low in the Hyper Cobalt colorway, and also the Adidas Form 84 Low. So starting with the New Balance 550 in the black and white colorway, I haven't yet reviewed this particular colorway, but I've reviewed two 550s in my channel before, the Amélie Andor and also the multicolor one. I'll leave links here so you guys can check them out and get to see a more detailed review on this 550. So basically with the 550, this is originally a basketball shoe, and all three of these are originally basketball shoes. This one released back in the late 80s. The upper is mostly constructed by this white leather. You do have some suede here around the toe box area. The suede here is not super smooth, it's not super great like other New Balance sneakers, but it is a nice touch to have some suede on these. The first 550s they came out did not have any suede, so these latest colorways are coming out with some suede on the toe box, so that is pretty cool and it's a nice touch by New Balance. The tongue is made out of a nylon material, and you have the New Balance name 550, a basketball, and the New Balance brand as well. The inside of the 550 is made out of this nylon and mesh material. You do have a little bit of this black leather here around the heel collar. All the way to the back of the shoe, you have the New Balance brand. You have this plastic TPU heel stabilizer here as well. For cushioning, the 550 uses an EVA foam, and on the medial side, you get to see that exposed EVA foam. The midsole on this particular colorway does not have a pure white color. It has a little bit of a yellowish look to it, so I do like that. And finally, the outsole is made out of rubber, and you do have the New Balance name here on the heel part of the shoe. And the 550s come in this general New Balance box, and here you have the official tag and SKU. All right guys, so jumping into the Nike Dunk Low, similar to the 550s, the upper is constructed of this leather material. You have this basically black and blue color. The midsole, it's in this white color. Also, you have some blue color here as well. The tongue is made out of that nylon material. The inside is made out of this nylon and mesh material as well. On the insole, you do have the Nike branding in that orange color. Nike swoosh on the lateral side, Nike swoosh on the medial side as well. All the way to the heel, you do have the Nike name embroidered in black. And of course, the outsole is made out of the rubber material, and you have the Nike logo in the center. Dunks come in this traditional Nike box, and then you have the official tag and SKU there. And finally, you have the Adidas Form 84 Low, another basketball shoe from the 80s. Upper is primarily the leather material. You do have suede here on the three stripes on the lateral and medial side, and you have some more suede all the way to the heel part of the shoe in this light gray color. The colorway here, as you can see, is basically this cream color, but it's like this vintage yellowish color around the toe box area all the way to around the mid panels of the shoe, and then the leather switches to a more white color from the mid panels of the shoe all the way to the heel part of the shoe. One very interesting detail of this Form 84 is this plastic heel stabilizer, but It does start almost from the mid panel of the shoe, and then it wraps around all the way around the heel, and then it goes past the mid panels of the shoe on the medial side. This midsole on this Form 84 has a lot of similarities to the 550s, because on the medial side you get to see that exposed EVA foam. One big difference between the two other sneakers is that this 84 does have this strap here. Definitely gives it a different look, makes the shoe more interesting and fun, I guess. Some people like it, some people hate it. There are some 84s that come without the strap. I kind of don't mind it. I've kind of contemplated, maybe I should cut it, but at the same time, I want to keep it OG, and this definitely gives it that OG look for sure. So when it comes to sizing and fit, all three of these do not feel the same. So for example, the 550s, these black and whites are 9.5. My first two 550s, I went with a size 10, and I did experience that heel slippage that a lot of people complain about. So I decided to go with a 9.5 on these black and whites, thinking, okay, would they half size down? They might fit more tight. They might feel more secured around my Achilles area. Unfortunately, it didn't. So the weird part is that to me, they feel almost exactly the same as my size 10. So I don't know if that's the material that's being used on the heel part of the shoe that doesn't give you that grip and that support. So I would recommend just maybe tying them a little bit more so that heel slippage goes away a little bit. So I would say that's my biggest knock on the 550s. When it comes to the Nike Dunks, I would say out of the three, the Nike Dunks feel the more true to size, because I don't have any issues with heel slippage. My toes feel nice and comfortable and roomy around the toe box area, and the shoe fits almost perfect when it comes to the true to size fit. When it comes to the Adidas Form 84s, they feel a little bit bigger than the Nike Dunks. The toe box area, it is a little bit wider than the 550s and the Nike Dunks. So you do have a little bit of extra room there, which I do appreciate. But the cool thing about the 84s is that you do have that strap, which by using it does give you a little bit more support around the ankles. So if you want to stick with your true to size, you'll be fine. But if you want more of a snugger fit, you don't like that looser fit, if you go with a half size down, I think you'll be fine as well. So when it comes to comfort, this is where all three of them have a lot of similarities, other than the fact that they're 80s basketball sneakers and the upper is mostly leather material. The comfort feels almost exactly the same. You know, going in, I thought the 550 was gonna have a little bit of an edge because the insole on the 550s feels and looks more premium than the other two, but in reality, they almost feel identical. If it wasn't for the fit itself in terms of the sizing, that's what's gonna give them away. But if you just put them on and you're standing and you're just kind of like pushing your toes, you know, towards the ground and pushing your heels towards the ground, you know, it's gonna feel firm, it's gonna feel a little bit stiff. It's not gonna be something that you put on and say, wow, this feels super comfortable. You know, again, these are basketball sneakers from the 80s, so you really can't expect anything major when it comes to comfort. So at the beginning of the video, I mentioned that this was hard to compare one and say which one's better than the other, because at the end of the day, it's gonna come down to preference. It's gonna come down to which brand you like more. It's gonna come down to hype and things like that. But if you kind of pick different categories, different areas where each shoe shines, I'm gonna highlight certain spots, certain areas where I think, you know, one shoe or one brand, you know, did it better than the other. So starting with the materials, I do have to say that the 84s, in my opinion, do a better job in providing better quality materials overall. I think the leather material looks and feels better. Definitely feels better than the ones on the Dunks for sure. The one that has a better shot, a better chance at beating the 84 in terms of the material is the 550. But overall, I think the 84 takes it when it comes to the materials itself. So when it comes to popularity, obviously the Nike Dunk is going to take that, right? I mean, these still sell out every single time they release. It's like Nike does not lose when it comes to the Nike Dunks. It's arguably the most popular Nike sneaker to date, or it's been the most popular Nike sneaker in the last, what, year or so or whatever, because I feel like every single week there's probably one or two Dunks that have been releasing, at least in 2021. So with the Nike Dunk is definitely the more popular one for sure. The second one in line will be the 550, and that's thanks to Teddy Santis and Amelie Andor for that major collaboration when the shoe launched last year. So the 550 will be the second most popular out of these three. and then obviously the 84. And finally, when it comes to style, obviously that's going to be super subjective. Everybody's going to have their own opinion on which one they like the most. I think that probably if I only had one choice to pick one of these three, I think I would probably go with the Nike Dunk in terms of style. And it's because, you know, they obviously are, you know, look similar to a Jordan 1. You know, they have, I don't know, they have more of this cachet when it comes to rocking dunks. You know, that's the reality of it. So I think because of that, I would probably choose the Nike Dunk. However, the 550, man, ever since they came out, and when I got my first pair, you know, I fell in love with them, and they're definitely super dope. You know, I do feel like almost getting all the colors, but, you know, obviously I can't. But they are very cool. They do have a different style, and it's just a different look, right? You know, you see dunks now every single time. You kind of get tired of seeing them. So it is cool to be able to rock something different, and I think that's what the 550 does. Similar, I mean, the 84s too. You can make the argument for the 84s as well. All right, guys, so I think this is the most important part of the video. Let me lace these up, put these on, so you guys get to see how these look on feet. All right, guys, so that's it for me. Let me know in the comments below if you had to choose one of these as your, you know, very last pair you could ever wear. Which one would you rock? Which one would you go for? Is it the Dunk, the 550, or the 84? And if this is your first time stopping by and checking one of my videos, and if you like the content, definitely feel free to subscribe. Hit that like button as well. I'll leave a link to my Instagram page so you guys can go follow me there. And that's it, guys. Catch you guys in the next one. See ya.